The member. The question is that the motion be agreed to, and I call the member for Bennelong.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'd like to thank the member for Robertson for giving us all this great opportunity to get up and speak about this policy and its life-saving abilities and its ability to reduce the pressures on costs of living, because we know that Australian patients will, for the first time since the creation of the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme, get a much-needed cut to the cost of medicines, leaving more money in people's pockets to provide for their families. And at a time when costs of living is going up, putting pressure on families across the country, this is one measure showing that the government is working hard to ensure that the relief it provides is targeted, measured and such that does not add to the inflationary time bomb we inherited from the former government. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, more than 900,000 patients delayed or didn't get a script filled in 2019 to 2020 due to the cost of their medications. No one, Deputy Speaker, should have to choose between filling prescriptions for life-saving medicines and affording their day-to-day necessities. Our determination to deliver cheaper medicines will help everyday Australians. Under the cheaper medicines policy, the co-payment has reduced from $42.50 to just $30. That's a whopping 29% reduction. This means for PBS medications, you'll only pay up to $30 and the government covers the rest. And this is having real-world benefits. This is helping everyday Australians. Penelope, in my electorate in Bennelong, contacted me at the end of last year. She's been a carer for her mum for the past 7 years. She had a broken ankle, was struggling to walk and struggling to make ends meet. She wanted to know how she could get access to cheaper medications to make some savings where she could. Because of the commitment of this government, from the 1st of January, she's now saving on her medications. She now has more money in her budget to help provide for her family. So since the 1st of January, when this legislation came into effect, people like Penelope can now better afford medicines that they need to keep themselves and their family healthy. Someone taking one medicine a month is now saving $150 every year. A family with 2 or 3 medications are now saving between $300 and $450 a year. That's money back in their pocket and back in the household budget. That's real cost of living relief, targeting those who really need it. And in Bennelong, cheaper medicine will mean over 87,000 patients putting money back into their pockets, money back for their families. They're now saving a collective amount of over $4.7 million a year. Being a local, I've visited a number of pharmacies in my electorate since this policy was announced and since its implementation. I've been to the Amcal Chemist in the Macquarie Centre and to see Kevin, Johnny and Vivian at the North Ryde Pharmacy in Cox's Road Mall, and also my little pharmacy around the corner at Blenheim Road. These pharmacies and their staff are trusted, they care for their patients and they have an intimate understanding of their patients' needs. And they all had the same story, Deputy Speaker. They told me of the scores of people that would go up to the counter with multiple scripts asking their pharmacist, which medicine can I afford to miss out on this week? These stories of people risking their health and going without the medicines they need because they could not afford their medications. And they're not just story, they're real people who are now, because of this government, paying less for their medicine. The 87,000 patients in Bennelong who will benefit from this form just one part of the 3.6 million Australians who have been saving on their medical scripts since the 1st of January under this government. We know our communities and we know that vulnerable Australians deserve to be supported. That's why we have taken every opportunity, particularly at this time, to ease the cost of living. And as I close up, Deputy Speaker, I'd just like to particularly pay tribute to the members of this parliament who have a wealth of experience being doctors, GPs and pharmacists. The member for Macarthur, Higgins, Kooyong, McKellar, Dobell and, of course, the member for Robertson. I'm sure they catch up regularly and exchange notes and as part of the medical caucus, but what a time for such an experienced bunch of citizens to be in this parliament at a time when we know we need to improve access to medicines and to our medical system. So thank you for all they bring to this place.
Thank you.